Hi there, welcome to another video of First Year Maths. We're starting a new topic today, statistics, and you'll be all familiar with a statistic. It's given maybe at the end of a match, or you'd fill out a survey to create a statistic and things like that. It's very useful for planning and looking into the future. So the government have the Central Statistics Office down in Cork, and every 5 years they send out a census where they ask every person in Ireland lots of different questions to gather information. So things like if there was a lot of people born in Mayo, let's say, they'll know that, right, in 5 years' time, we're going to need more primary schools in Mayo, or that in 12 years' time, we're going to need more secondary schools in Mayo. So it can be really useful from that. Also really good for like gathering people's opinions on things. So for political parties, or if they wanted to get some market research on a new product you're launching, you might run a survey and gather statistics. So the first thing that statistics deals with is called data. And data is unorganized information. So that might be like hair color, favorite band, what shop you go to. That's all data. It's information. And then you have to do things to that data in order to be able to create a statistic. So you have to analyze it and gather data from lots of different people. Statistics is using data to understand people's opinions, attitudes, or behaviors. Stats are very useful when trying to predict what might happen, making plans for the future, or looking for patterns. So patterns and things that like maybe people behave a certain way. There are two types of data. There's numerical data that it can be measured. So they're numbers. Numerical means numbers. So your age is numerical data, or height, or your shoe size, temperature, speed of a car. They're all numbers. So they're numerical data. And the other type of data is categorical data, which are words. So they can't be measured. Like your favorite color could be like blue or red or black. You can't measure that, but it's a word. It's still a piece of data. Your favorite song is a piece of data. It's a name, or what country or what county you're from. That's a piece of data. So you might be from Offaly, or you might be from Tipperary. Gender is another big one as well. So are you male or are you female? Because that, maybe there'll be people that are male might prefer a certain type of color, and people that are female might prefer a certain type of color. So you can get some more information about people from data. Surveys are a good way of collecting this data. So a survey is where you take a group of people, which we call a sample, and you ask them questions. So you give them a survey to fill out, where they'll answer these questions and give you back some data. When designing a survey, there's some things here that you need to consider to make it a good survey, because you're trying to get as many people as possible to answer it. So have a clear idea of what the purpose of the survey is. What is it you're trying to find out? Only ask relevant questions. So if your survey is about people's diets, and let's say you're asking, what do you normally have for breakfast? What do you normally have for lunch or dinner? How many meals do you have a day? There's no point in asking them, what football team do you support? Because that has no effect on their diet and, what meals they're having. So it's not relevant. Keep questions short, simple, and clear. So when you're answering questions, you want them to be short so they're easy to answer. You want them to be really clear so that you're being specific, they know what they're being asked, and keep them simple. Just nice, short, easy kind of questions. One question at a time then as well. You don't want to be asking two questions in one. Split it up into two different questions. Don't ask too many personal questions. So like people maybe that they mightn't be comfortable giving that information to you. So like asking someone what their address is. They mightn't want to give that in the survey. Or how much money do they make? That mightn't be comfortable. Or people's age or their height. Just be conscious of that. That is this something that someone, first of all, that I need to find out for my survey, and also would they be comfortable telling me this? And then don't ask too many. Keep the survey short, only a couple of questions, so that people are more likely to finish it. If the survey is 10 pages long, they're going to get bored and they're not going to finish it out. Then once you have your survey, you need to decide, who am I going to send it out to? So am I going to send it to all first years? Am I going to send it to just my class? Am I going to send it to everyone in the school? Or am I going to give it to just my friends? So each one of them has advantages and disadvantages. All first years Well, that's a good sample size. You know, there's a good number of people in first year that I get lots of different opinions, but it doesn't tell me anything then about what the teachers think or what sixth years think, or if someone in third year might have a different opinion to someone in first year. So I'm looking just at first years. Someone in your class, or just asking people in your class, that's a smaller sample size, so you mightn't get as many different responses, but it'd be a good survey for first year. It wouldn't be a great survey for everyone in the school because it'd just be too small, it'd be too focused. Everyone in the school then, well, that you'd get lots of different responses there, but that might take a long time to collect. You know, if you want to ask everybody in the school, you have to go around and try and get them all to fill that out, and that's going to take a lot longer. So you have to kind of balance that out. How much time do I have versus how many people do I need to ask? Then are you going to do a face-to-face interview? Are you going to email them the survey? Are you going to do it over the phone? Are you going to do a postal survey? Are you going to hire someone to go out and do the survey for you? Are you going to do it yourself? Again, time and cost are things to be considering. Tally charts and frequency tables. So once you've created your survey and you've sent it out and you've got all that information and data, you need to start organizing it. Data is unorganized. You need to organize it in order to create the statistic. So tally counting is a good way of counting stuff up quite quickly. And it's in bundles of 5. So you might have seen this kind of marked off. If I was counting, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 little marks. And then the 5th mark will be across it to just turn it into a bundle. So when this adds up into lots of bundles, I can quickly read off, like here for example, I have 23 because I have 4 bundles of 5 and 1 bundle of 3, so that gives me a total of 23. There's a bundle of 5 and here's a bundle of 8, we'll say. I have 5 and then 3 left over, so that gives me a total of 8. Once you have your tally chart, then you can quite easily see what the frequency is. So the frequency is the actual number. So in the first one, my frequency was 23, my second one, my frequency was 5, and then the third one, my frequency was 8. Inputting that into a frequency table then, I have an example here of, let's say it's how many meals someone eats in a day. And the first person has 5 meals in the day. So what I do is I put one tally count into 5. And that's the first piece of data. And then the next person has 2 meals, so I put a mark into 2, and the third person has 2, and then 3, 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 4, 2, 3, and 3. And that's all my pieces of data now put into my tally chart. So you can see how it's kind of a nice way of counting them up quickly. And I can read off the tally chart then to get my frequency. 0 people had 1 meal, so my frequency for that is 0. 5 people had 2 meals. 4 people had 3 meals. 2 people had 4 meals. And 3 people had 5 meals. So that's tally and frequency. That's an introduction to data and statistics. I hope you found that useful.